Welcome to the world of Formula 1. Today we got some exciting updates for the Canadian Grand Prix. If you haven't seen my latest video regarding the new 2026 F1 car, please go check that out, and if you're new here, please like and subscribe as that means the world to me. So let's dive into the updates for the Canadian Grand Prix. First up, let's talk about the weather. It's going to be a wet weekend with rain expected on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. This means that teams might lean towards higher downforce setups, although traditionally the Canadian Grand Prix favors low downforce. It'll be interesting to see how teams balance this. So let's look into the team and car updates. Red Bull is sticking with their medium to low rear wing. They have been consistent with their downforce, so I expect them to keep this setup all weekend, rain or not. Mercedes, they have their medium rear wing with some minor revisions. They have more downforce than Red Bull, but nothing too much. They also have some updates, though they are not immediately visible. It's probably something under the car or around the diffuser. We need to look into that a little bit more. Ferrari, they are bringing the same rear wing they had in Imola. They haven't introduced a low downforce wing yet, but they will be optimizing their current package for the wet conditions here in Canada, as it will be raining every single day. Looking at McLaren, McLaren is using a medium to low rear wing similar to what they had in Jeddah. They are looking strong and could be one of the favorites this weekend, so it's going to be interesting to see how the McLaren car works in these conditions on this track. We know that from the years before they haven't worked very well on this track, so we'll see if they have made some strides in the upgrades. So looking at Aston Martin, they are running a medium to low downforce rear wing with some minor revisions. They might add gurney flaps for extra downforce if the track gets really wet. They've also made some floor upgrades and a slight tweak to their front wing for better balance. Alpine has opted for a medium downforce rear wing due to the rain coming up in Canada. Williams is running a medium to low downforce rear wing. They have got some big upgrades, but we don't have the full picture yet, so we need to wait for a confirmation from Williams. Racing Bulls is trying a new front wing along with their new medium to low downforce rear wing. We'll see how that works for them. Sauber has made significant upgrades with a new floor and rear wing, focusing on improving downforce. Their new floor edge and squared off rear wing are notable changes on the car. It's going to be interesting to see how those changes will look on this track. Let's have a look at some cooling adjustments for the Canadian Grand Prix. I mean, given the weather in the wet weather, most teams are minimizing their cooling. Ferrari might even close one of their gills opening. That's usually part of their aerodynamic flow. Mercedes has been running an unusual cooling setup all season, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can make any changes by qualifying. Specific observations in the teams though. When we look at and compare the floors of the top teams like Ferrari and McLaren, there are notable similarities in their Venturi tunnels. However, looking at Sauber's new floor, it is quite different, highlighting the variations between the top and lower tier teams. So it's going to be interesting to see what Sauber's new floor compared to Ferrari and McLaren's similar floors, how they are looking and how they're going to be working on the track. Looking at the track though, with the rain, high downforce setups might be favored, even though low downforce is usually the go-to for Canada. This will be crucial for maintaining driver confidence in such tricky conditions. Looking at the race weekend, I am expecting a close competition among the top teams. Mercedes might surprise us, they have some updates, but I think it's going to be a tight race between Red Bull, Ferrari and McLaren. And I think Ferrari is going to be taking the number one spot, so we'll see what happens. So if we look at when next upgrades might be coming, I think it's going to come to Barcelona Grand Prix. The significant upgrades is at least coming to Barcelona. Right now there is a wet weekend, minor revisions, a couple of teams that made some significant upgrades, for example Sauber, but I still think that every team is going to be more or less adapting to the wet conditions. What do we need to do with the car to make sure that it works perfectly on this track with the wet conditions? That will be the main key for every team to go through. So we'll see what happens. I'll be keeping a close eye on the practice sessions. Obviously the first practice session comes up in a couple of hours, so I'll update you after pre-practice 1 and FP2 obviously. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and please do subscribe. It really means the world to me. I need to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, And if you have any ideas of how I can make my content better, you are more than welcome to comment below. Please, 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 and thank you. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Peace.